We are back with episode 3, darling, of Simply My Opinion, and today on the docket is the Olney Theatre Center's production of Cabaret. Now, as I go into this review, just remember, don't get mad. It's simply my opinion.
Do I have your attention? 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 Do I have your attention?
Is you taking notes?
Alright, y'all, so look, y'all know I like to talk about the moment that I pull onto the driveway of the theater, to the moment I get inside to go to concessions, to the second I sit down. They have plenty of staff that are walking around that can help guide you guys. There is parking on the campus of the theater, which is great, so you don't have to worry about parking on the side of the street. There's plenty of parking. They have plenty of handicap accessible parking spots as well. As you make your way to the theater, you will notice that there's actual multiple theaters on the campus. I think they have 4 total. They have their main stage, they have 2 smaller theaters, and they also have an outdoor stage as well, which is actually pretty great. The theater itself is actually gorgeous. You know, they've done some renovations, they've changed it over the last couple of years, so the theater is actually really, really nice. The concessions at the theater are, you know, decently priced. You know, they have a really, really nice staff there, and the good thing is that they have a beautiful outdoor patio that sits in between the 2 theaters, that if you and your loved ones or family or whatever the case is get there really early, you can grab yourself a cocktail, some snacks, and, you know, sit outside and, you know, just enjoy the view, or, you know, just hang out in the lobby. They have plenty of furniture for you guys to sit on and chill at, so that's great. The bathrooms are also multiple stalls. I know someone asked me in my last review, what is the bathroom situation like? Which is a good question, because sometimes you go to theaters that only have 1 bathroom, and the theater itself seats like 400 people. You're like, how the hell are you gonna have 400 seats in here and only got 1 bathroom? You don't have to worry about that at Olney. They got it covered. They have a beautiful, beautiful lobby. If you go and see the show, they have a step and repeat, as you guys can see, where you and your friends can, you know, take really cute pictures, you know, be out on the town and whatnot. So let's make our way into the theater. Now, as you guys can see, the stage is stunning. Yeah, yes. The stage is real cute. The stage is minimalistic. You know, there's not too much going on. The only thing that was kind of off-putting to me at the beginning, it was like there was so much red going on. And in my mind, and it might be just because I had never seen the show before, I imagined it to be far darker, far more grimmier, like a little bit more on the dirtier side. But it looked a bit like Moulin Rouge, a little bit. But then you kind of get over it once the show starts. But the stage itself is actually really, really beautiful. I don't know if you guys notice, but on the left and the right on the stage, you'll notice on the bottom sides of the stage, there's 2 tables on each side. You, as an audience member, could be sitting on the stage with the actors while the show is going on. So that's actually kind of cool. You do pay a little bit more money for it, honey. So just know, you're going to pay a little bit of a penny if you want to sit on the stage. And also, you can't get up. So if you got bladder problems, that ain't going to be the seat for you. But anyway, I digress. This theater, let's see, how many seats is this theater? This theater seats 435 people. The theater is not too big. I know to some people who don't go to the theater often or whatever the case is, they might think 400 is a lot of people. It truly, truly isn't. It's a decent sized theater. I was sitting in the back of the orchestra, and as you guys can see over this clip here, I'm showing you guys from left to right that that's the entire orchestra. I was only sitting 9 rows back, and that's the last row. So if you sit in the orchestra, you'll be good to go. Even if you sit in the mezzanine up top, it's completely fine. There really aren't any bad seats per se as far as distance away from the stage. There may be just a few sightline issues, but you know, that's just the way it is sometimes. Let's talk about the show. I think Cabaret at Olney Theater Center is actually really, really good. I think the band, led by Chris Ustrom, is on fire. I truly do. And I have to make sure that before I say anything else that I say these people's names. I'm not fitting to say no last names because ain't nobody got time to be trying to sit over here and try to pronounce all these people's last names. I don't know what they're saying. I'm not trying to be offensive. So here we go. So Chris, Garrett, Andrew, Roger, Brent, Peter, Andrea, Catherine, Jerry, Yusuf, and Mark. y'all slayed. The band is everything. The band is on it. And in the second act, they open up the show and they all get their moment to shine and, you know, show their special little tricks and stuff. And I think they were absolutely fantastic. Let's talk about the ensemble. Now look, I think as a whole, I think the ensemble, they're rock stars. I really do. I think they're great. It's always refreshing to see a show where you can tell everyone is kind of having a good time. You know, sometimes when you get in shows, you're dying to be a part of a show, and then the second you get in it and you realize all of the work you got to do and all of that type of stuff, you're kind of like, ugh, I'm kind of tired of this. I'm kind of over it. I don't see that on any of their faces on the stage, and usually I can spot those people a mile away, and I don't see that. I think they're all having a great time. I'm telling you, the opening number puts you in the mood to want to enjoy the show. You know, you have all these people in these like little scandalous outfits, honey. Although, honey, I feel like they could have went way further. I think, look, if you're gonna have the women out there with their titties sitting on their forehead, you might as well have the men with the fang sitting down by their big toe. I'm just saying. That's just me. This is simply my opinion. But anywho, there is one particular ensemble member that I have got to give a shout out to, because I think that he in particular is an actual star, and that is Rick Westerkamp. I think Rick in the show is a breath of fresh air. And I say this because it's not that he's out there doing anything so extraordinarily marvelous that I'm just like, oh my God, he's just the best thing I've ever seen. That's not really what this is. What this is you have someone on the stage who is enjoying genuinely every single thing that I'm telling you. Every time that boy steps on the stage, you are going to be looking at him non-stop. And I think it is absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite numbers that he's in is called Two Ladies. Baby, Rick is living his best life, and I live for it. I think it's absolutely great. I think all of the ensemble members across the board, you get a kudos from me. Next. Okay, so now we need to talk about some of these supporting and leading people and blah, 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 blah. So the first person that I want to talk about is Miss Donna, okay? The queen herself. I think Donna is she's a star. Like, I don't really know how else to describe her. Donna is one of those type of people where when she walks on the stage as Fräulein Schneider, I done probably just said that all wrong, whatever. When she walks on the stage, you immediately listen to what she has to say. And you know, I don't know what is going on with this ring light, but it's about to piss me off. She's one of those people where when she walks on stage, it's kind of just like, I need to pay attention. Like, because this is a masterclass. I need to be studying what this woman is doing. That's how good she is. One of my favorite numbers that she sings is So What in the first act. I freaking love it. I love anyone, male or female or anything in between, honey. If you can transition from your speaking voice into your singing voice seamlessly, I just think that's such a rare talent. And a lot of people try to do it, or a lot of people think they're doing it, but they're actually not. And for her, sometimes I couldn't tell if she was actually singing or speaking until you realize, oh, that bitch is actually singing. I live for it. I live for it. But her best acting moment to me is What Would You Do in the second act. I just think, I just sit and watch that number and I'm thinking, damn, what would I do? Like, she really like draws you in to the entire story, which is, I mean, you know, she's freaking great. I absolutely adore her. Look, the next person that I want to talk about is Miss Sally Bowles, who is played by Alexandra Sober. Now look, I think that her portrayal of that role is fun. There's a lot of choices being made. And some for the good, some for the a bit confusing good. I don't know. This is the thing. That girl has a big voice. You can tell that she's really comfortable when she's like belting and stuff, which is great. Because you know, when a girl starts to holler at the top of her lungs, I'm like, yes, Gaga, sing, work. But that ain't meant to be for the whole show. So there are moments where you can tell she's supposed to be pulling back, but her version of pulling back because her vibrato is so wide, her vibrato is just, her vocal cords are doing this the whole time. And it's a lot. So it's kind of a bit off-putting at times because I'm like, what is she doing? Why is she singing it this way? Now look, this is simply my opinion. I'm just saying. But anywho, I think that her strongest act to me is the first act. Some people might feel differently, but this is simply my opinion. I think that her strongest act is absolutely the first act. And the only reason why I say that is because in the second act, I felt like she kept swallowing her sound. So I couldn't truly understand what it was she was saying. There are moments in the show where, you know, she gets all worked up and she's almost having like heart palpitations and she's hyperventilating on stage and flipping out and all this shit. And I'm thinking, okay, I just need her to breathe for a second and to move her sound forward because I can't hear and understand what it is she's trying to say. And sometimes, you know, that's a bit unfortunate. But I think her chemistry with Greg Mayhew is great. I think those two as a pair work well together. Greg Mayhew, now, yes, I do know him. No, this is not me being biased, because if I didn't like it, I would say it. But I think Greg is a star. I truly do. This is the thing about Greg. Any role where Greg gets to be dramatic on stage and be all serious and all that crazy shit, Greg is always going to be amazing, because that's what he does. Great. The time has come. Look, everybody else, all of y'all were great. Trust me, you really were. But bitch, the person I have to talk about right now is the MC. And that is Mason Alexander Park.
Two hours later.
His version of I Don't Care Much is without a doubt worth the 6-hour drive it's going to take you to get to Olney, Maryland, because it is in the middle of nowhere. And it is definitely worth the ticket price. When that baby comes walking around the corner and he says, I don't care much. His vibrato's all wide and shit. You know how I like it, that old school sound, honey. Oh my God. I think he is, oh my God, he's just so good. He is just so good. You know, there are few people that I've ever seen on stage where I feel like they literally give their all on stage. And this boy is so young. Y'all, I think he's only like 23, 24 years old. He is so young. And the craftsmanship that he shows on that stage to me is absolutely breathtaking. You know, there are some times when you have to allow yourself to be extremely vulnerable to the point to where you are willing to make yourself look like a fool on stage because that's what the role requires. And that's exactly what he does. There is not one moment where that boy breaks character on stage. I don't care if he's standing off in the side and he's in the dark and no one can see him. He is still in character, and I think that is the quality of a star to me. Absolutely fantastic. You guys, I would absolutely say go see the show. If you guys are in the DMV, or if you are visiting the DMV before, I think it's October the 6th, I think is when they close, I would absolutely say go out to Olney, Maryland, and go see their production of Cabaret. The show is absolutely fantastic. Overall, I give the, you know, I try to give the show a rating between a 1 to 5. I would have to give this one a solid 4.6. For real. I can't give it no 5 now. I can't give it no 5. But I would definitely give it a 4.6. Also, I have to give a shout out to Jessica Bennett. Now, before people start to think that this is a me just like rooting for everybody black, because I always am. That's not what this is. But I will say this. You know how like sometimes when you see somebody walking down the street and you realize that they a bad bitch, but it's not even because they tried, it's just because they know that they are? That's what Jess does on the stage. And I say this because, not saying that none of the other girls aren't, you know, doing it, but they damn sure ain't doing it to her level. I'm just saying. When Jess walks on the stage, it is like, bitch, I ain't even got to try. Cause you fitting look at me. I got my titties sitting up on my forehead. I got this lace front glued down to my baby hair. You are going to look at me. And she's not trying. And to me, I think that's what makes it so sexy. And I think that's what makes it so intriguing. So kudos to you, girl. But anywho, y'all, I'm gonna go on ahead and get out of here. Go to Olney, Maryland. Go see their production of Cabaret. It runs until October 6th. I don't know if they're doing an extension or not, so definitely get your tickets now while you can. And, you know, that's about it. And just remember, honey, all of this is simply my opinion. Now, I got to go. Bye.
Simply Food by TY.